I had a calling at the age of 18. I really believe God called in my heart to become a pastor, and I've had a passion to do that. I went to Cedarville University and got some seminary training. During this time of ministry where I transitioned from full-time vocational ministry to my next step, which is tentmaker / missional support raising. I look back and it was so good. I mean, the congregation I was leading was growing. We were financially hitting all of our marks. And most people probably look at me and say, why? Why leave then, right? My family was healthy, we were loved, we loved our people well. I mean, it was just, I can only think of a lot more positives than there was negatives. But there was this nagging uneasiness that my wife and I felt. And really, when it came down to it, we committed 1 year to really concentrate on and fully focus on Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I love trusting the Lord, but I don't humanly always trust in the Lord. I just think a lot of times I've been tooled or told that I can figure out a lot for the kingdom of God. So in all what seemingly felt like positives, Jesus was directing our paths into something way greater. And so it was in that time that we took a huge step of faith, one that we didn't know all the answers. I didn't have all the jobs lined up. We just knew it was time to jump. And we did. It's been the hardest thing I've ever done. It's been the best thing I've ever done. One of the reasons I've stepped out of that vocational ministry was when I really look at the condition of the overall church, the Western church. I see other cultures doing it radically differently with greater success. It's not even a newer way. It's what God commanded us to do. It's simple, but it takes more work, but with less people. And so what I mean by that, the more work side is simply the relational parts of driving and working with people. I think of one of my neighbors that right now I'm ministering with. The impact that my family is having on him simply because we care for him, we're inviting him on our journey. The amount of times I've seen tears of joy in his eye simply because we are being the church for him. It's because as we are going, we are just looking for those opportunities to minister. And that neighbor, in my past, we would have missed. So in this new process, when we've seen the transition of the church as we know it, we really see a huge heart of God's people changing. And I believe that pastors have a radical and awesome opportunity to be in the forefront of making a change for the kingdom of God. And it's going to be through those that are not afraid to push up against the norm. And I think if I could speak to any pastor, it would be a pastor who has this inner wrestling that there's something more, something different, I would say something better for his church. That if they have that calling, they know something isn't quite right, to be bold with the step, and God, He will provide your answer. That if God is bringing that person to that way of thinking, then take the step. It's in those directions that we see God's mighty, huge hand at work. And when I view God in those times, I feel like I was, that 3-year-old child that was running up to my father. And when he picked me up, I knew we're okay.